If you're watching this video, you've probably heard of Tony Hawk. He's the world's most famous skateboarder, known for his high-flying, death-defying tricks and stunts. And when you're talking about Tony Hawk, it's impossible not to mention the classic video games that share his name. The first, and probably the most iconic of which, is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Hey everybody, my name is Vignox, and with the recent news that both Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are going to get a full top-down remaster, I just wanted to take a look at what made Tony Hawk's Pro Skater such a fantastic and iconic game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was released on September 29, 1999, and was developed by a small company at the time, Neversoft Entertainment, and published by another game company you might have heard of, Activision. Originally released for the PlayStation and later developed and released on the Nintendo 64, this game became a smash hit, selling over 1 million copies between 1999 and the end of 2000. At the time of Pro Skater's release in 1999, there was a growing sense of excitement around skateboarding. The X Games tournament, founded in 1995, was getting more and more popular each year. Tony Hawk just landed the first ever 900. Skate magazines were flying off the shelves. More and more kids started skating every single year. People needed to get their hands on a skateboard, and along with that came skateboarding content. With people hungry for more skating, Neversoft and its team of only 12 employees managed to create Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in 1 year. What Neversoft released was nothing short of a masterpiece. If we're going to figure out just what made this game so popular, we got to start with the basics. Yeah, sure, there were already other skateboarding games for the PlayStation at the time, but all those games kept you on a set track and gave you a limited number of tricks that you could do, and they honestly just felt kind of clunky. Neversoft really nailed it with this one though, you just cannot deny that. The number of tricks that they gave you as a player will keep you playing free skate for hours. Neversoft took the time to watch and talk to real professional skateboarders, and they put their movements directly into the game to try to create the most authentic skating experience that they could. In the story mode, Pro Skater is broken down into 9 different levels where the player has 2 minutes to complete different challenges to get tapes. The mission that is probably the most iconic from Tony Hawk is collecting the letters of the word skate. Another common mission you do on every level is destroy some form of property, which was always just fun, of course. Pro Skater allowed players not to really stay on a set track while they played each level, and it really helped set this game apart from the other smaller games at the time. This semi-open world helped define the series, and it allowed players to get really creative with their moves. Neversoft really took the time to make as much of each level as skatable as possible. It allowed players to really test their limits and try to find unique, interesting ways to get around. For example, in the level Downtown, you can break through this pane of glass and go through a secret path, and it brings you to the top of a bunch of skyscrapers that have their own bowls and rails that you can skate on. That level of detail, that is something, to be honest, that a lot of PlayStation games at the time just didn't really have. Pro Skater brought another level of customization compared to the other skateboarding games at the time too. It let you choose between 10 different playable pro skateboarders, and this really helped players develop more of a personal connection to different pros and different brands, and I think it really helped develop a fandom for skate culture more than just the game. Did you like rap music and smoking big doinks? Then Chad Muska was your man. Did you hate yourself? Bob Burnquist was the dude you're playing. The game even featured one female skateboarder, Alyssa Steamer. Most people that I know preferred to play as Tony Hawk himself though. Pro Skater also allowed players to upgrade and customize their skateboard, right down from the grip tape to the wheels. If you were a skate company, you needed to have your board, wheels, trucks, and sponsored skaters in this game. This game brought being a pro skater to life. You could do every trick that the pros could do and so much more. The controls were easy to learn, but hard to master. The combo system is amazing, and if you didn't have a PlayStation when this came out, but your friend did and he wanted to play Tony Hawk, you could get a handle on the game and keep up pretty quickly. Also, let's be honest here, not that many people really want to go out, buy a skateboard, learn tricks, practice the tricks, fall, get hurt, get up, and practice the tricks again for years and years and still not even be half as good as the pros. Why wouldn't you just play Tony Hawk instead? It makes sense. And this also brought in a whole new wave of skate fans. People who enjoyed just watching the professionals do it. It helped legitimize skating as a spectator sport and further pushed it into the mainstream as a whole. Now, when you're talking about the Tony Hawk games, it's impossible not to mention the soundtrack. The 90s were a great time for rock, alternative rock, and ska music, and Tony Hawk was no exception. I mean, come on, just the music not only gave the game more life, but it meant that you weren't just hearing the monotonous, boring sound of wheels on pavement for hours on end. It also helped introduce a group of people to this kind of music who otherwise may not have ever found it. Being on the Tony Hawk soundtrack was almost like a feather in your cap for some of the bands. It meant skaters liked you, and skaters were cool, so everyone liked you. The music resonated with skaters' fuck authority mentality, and honestly, it went along nicely with the missions where you have to destroy public property. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater just had it all. It had the gameplay, the music, the characters, and the maps that all came together to make a super fun and classic game. It's important to remember when the game came out. It came out right as the X Games were pushed onto the mainstream on ESPN, and when teen angst was at an all-time high. I mean, it was all over pop culture and different movies, shows, and music, and so on. Why wouldn't you have bought this game or just rented it from your local Blockbuster? I don't know about you guys, but I'm super excited for the full remaster of this game, and I hope that the developers do a good job trying to keep the authentic Tony Hawk feel. I want to be able to try crazy combos and get right back up and try it again. I want the Tony Hawk where I can go for that million-point combo. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater helped define an entire genre of games, and it's truly, truly timeless. If you guys enjoyed that video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below to see more when I release them. And if you want to watch me play Tony Hawk and get that billion-point combo, just follow me on Twitch. Come say hi in the chat, I'll leave a link in the description. Hope you guys have a great day, and as always, stay epic.